beloved viewer, welcome again to yet another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel, Uganda. Delighted to have you again, and thank you so much for always being part of these conversations, for always watching this show, for always recommending it to your friends, for always sharing it, for going on YouTube and watching and leaving your comments. We are always excited and glad to have you with us. And we are yet again back with another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda. And tonight, we're discussing a very pertinent topic that perhaps affects most of us young people. Low wages and versus the rising cost of living. Low wages versus the rising cost of living. Now, we live in a country where about 51% of the population are living below the poverty line. And what this means is that they are below the recommended global standards of at least $1.50 per day. This is about 5,000 shillings per day. Most people can't afford that, at least about 51% of the population. And then we're living in a country where about 80% of the people in employment are in the informal sector. But also we have to remember that this country, about 78% to about 80% of the population are people, young people below the age of 35, which means most of these young people, those who are not in school, are in the informal sector. And what are they earning? Peanuts. How much are they earning? Peanuts. You have young people who have been to university, they have done degrees, they have diplomas, they have qualifications, but they are earning below what can be able to sustain them. Especially here in the city, someone is earning, maybe they have a degree, but they're earning maybe 400, 500,000 per month. How much can they do with that? Where can they live with that? Can they marry with that? Can they be able to do very many other things like that? They're in like 5 different quangular groups. Birthday parties have to be done here and there. They have to take their people out. Do they really manage? So that's what we're going to be sharing about this evening. Low wages versus the rising cost of living. And to help us unpack this conversation, I have a 2-man panel and 1 lady. On the extreme right is a face that is not new to the show, Mr. Edwin Ayevazibwe. Delighted to have you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, Edwin is a final year student studying education. He's a science teacher. And then he also works with Makerere University, right?
Yeah, true.
Thank you for coming back. And then the other gentleman we have here is a household face on this show, Mr. Mugisha Alan. He studied education, but he's into marketing. And earlier he mentioned to me the fact that he's also back into books again.
Yeah.
So what are you studying again?
Advancing in the same course.
In the same education.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that a postgraduate diploma or actually a master's? Masters.
Yeah, that will be beginning next year.
Wonderful. That's a good one. And the only lady we have in this show to bring the female perspective to this conversation is Miss Naomi Abu Diaba, right? Yes, that's her name. It's her maiden appearance on this show. She is professionally a teacher. Delighted to have you with us.
It is an honor to be with you.
Thank you so much for honoring our invite. And we can't wait to hear from you. Yes, now we are discussing low wages. Let's and we're going to be as real as it is.
Yeah.
I am a teacher, he's a teacher, but into marketing, he's a teacher. Oh, we're all teachers here. Interesting. But the thing about teachers is that we can speak for everyone, right?
Yeah, true.
We make them all. We make them all. So we can speak for them confidently.
Yeah, the ones in the kitchen.
Yes. We can speak for them confidently. What has been the reality there? Personally, this is my 3rd year of work. And I can tell you it's not easy. It's not easy. You are in Kampala and people know you're working. But what you're earning, my friend, by the 2nd day after, pay week, and then a few days after that, you're back to zero, and you can't wait for the month to end. God has been very good. From around May, the days are running so fast.
Yes.
The days, the month starts, and in about 10 days, you are in 15th.
Yeah, true.
And it's. But what's the reality there?
In the rushing of time?
No, in terms of low wages versus the rising cost of living.
One time, Eddie Kenzo quoted that in Uganda, you can earn 5,000, eat 3,000, spend another 2,000 and end up spending 7,000 when you earned 5,000 in the morning. And surprisingly, however fun it is, but it's the reality. But you to ask everyone here how much they earn vis-a-vis how much they spend, you may find when what you spend is more than what you earn. And you ask yourself the question, where does this extra money come from? Are we into permanent loans whereby you are sure you're getting a loan every month? Whereby
you have contracts with Momo.
You have contracts with Momo. Don't take a kusima. Don't put on that number.
but also we like you know, at the end of every month you have to borrow and pay, and that's a contract you have with more cash. And they also know it every month.
They'll keep on sending messages.
And they keep saying those tantalizing messages that you are now qualified to earn 300. You're like, that 300 will help a lot.
The rising cost of living. What's the reality there?
Yes, Edson, thank you so much for bringing this to light. Now, you aired out a number of statistics. Now, going into the real digits, it is too devastating that even those who are employed, now I have not yet talked about the employment versus unemployment, those who are employed, it is put right that 99% of them have a wage below 1 million in Uganda.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Of recent, I was looking through the wages of public servants. I was shocked. And yet public servants don't even make 10% of the population. They are actually around 3,000. 3,000, 200,000.
300,000?
300,000, you're right, of the whole country. Now, what does this bring? It means that someone is earning very little money at the end of the month. And yet, when we check the other estates, when we check costs of living like rent, real estate, the cost of food, fuel, transport costs, they are taking a lot of the money that you have not even made at the end of the day. So the reality is that many of us are living a life that is above our minimum wage at the end of the day.
It's the standard still.
And it is the bare minimum.
And it's not that we are living above our means, right?
Not really.
I mean, we are just spending
in our
within what we are
expected
supposed
means,
to be spending,
exactly.
Right? But it just can't add up.
Exactly. So it is really bad. It's really bad.
I want to add to the gentleman's voices and say it is tough. It is tough. It is not an easy road, and this is our reality, honestly. The money that we earn, and it applies to both the formal and informal sector. We can't say there is a sector that is safe. Most of us are earning money that is not enough to sustain us throughout the month, and hence we end up being ZZ Zenkola Zend. Yeah, honestly, it is tough. That's what I want to say as well.
But it begs the question, what is high cost of living? Because if at all, you said on average someone spends less than $1 in Uganda. Then I was reflecting, I was like, on my normal days, in my alertness, in my room, like on a good day when I've earned my money, it has come, I take a breakfast of 3K, I take lunch of 5, and a supper of 5. And is that a high standard of living?
No, it's
It will be cheaper when you marry.
So what exactly is a high standard? Because when I look at a high standard of living, high standard of living is someone having breakfast at Cafe Java's, lunch at Serena, and supper.
And I know we're going to, in this conversation, we're going to reach a point where we're discussing young people living above their means, you wanting to have the latest shoe, latest watch, latest phone. But for now, we are still looking at actually the young man living within his means, but it's just not enough. You have a young man, he's earning 1 million shillings, yes.
But
And he's really not exorbitant or extravagant, but the money is just not enough vis-a-vis the responsibility. A border that he used to pay maybe something like 2K to get to work, it's now 4K.
Yes.
And he can't avoid spending, and he has to get to work on time. Where he used to pay maybe something like 200K to rent maybe a suburb in Kampala, he has to pay like 400K.
400K.
And he can't stay in a slum.
Yes.
He has to stay in a decent place, you know.
For their own safety.
I am a teacher, and you can't be seen buying a commando in some places. Your students will see.
Yeah.
Get ashamed.
You're on the same lane.
You can't be seen contributing 20K on a camp meeting.
Yes.
You're going to get ashamed. But you can't live in some places, man. You can't live in some people. You are a respected member of society. So it's not that you're living above your means. You're really within your means, but the means is not
That's
just
terrible.
Yes.
Yes.
So what are some of the other realities there on ground?
But is it that responsibilities actually contribute to us living outside our means?
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
responsibilities are a thing.
Because
Yes, they do.
we are all service people in church.
Yeah,
I
true.
guess. Whereby you find yourself. Let me give an example of myself. In my stature, it's hard for me to be at one church. Actually, I've not been at one church for the past 2 years. That means there's a cost of transport, and you don't move alone. You move with a team. And since you are the leader, you are putting in. You find yourself when Sabbath alone, you put in service, in responsibility more than even your tithe. Okay? You spend 30K in transport and accommodating people that you are serving with, and you put 10K in the envelope. And that is the reality, that responsibilities themselves push us beyond what we can. Whereby, as you've said, people can't see me this way. I can't sit in a wedding meeting, a whole youth leader
And
of a
contribute
district
20,000.
and contribute 20,000. At least you'll put the transport and get a loan. Be like, I'm not okay. You know, things are not okay, but let me put some car 50K for now. I'll be like, yes, that's the stature they know you in. Okay? You put a 50K, you know that you're going to borrow another 50K to cover up. So to some point, we may be actually when the money is enough. Because as a man who is not married yet, why would I spend more than 1 million in a month? Why would I spend that in my feeding and all that? But the responsibilities that come along actually make this insufficient. Yeah.
I want to say that in addition to the responsibilities, we also have appearances to keep up.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yes.
yes, that is another thing that adds to these tough times, to our tough financial state, you know. And I say, I know I'll have to change my hair after a month, whether it is outdone or not, you know. It's a rule. Sometimes we set principles of our appearances that go beyond our finances, and they end up grabbing us, putting us in a loop that we could jump out of, you know. And I said, I'm supposed to put on a new dress every month. I'm supposed to buy a new dress every month. Meanwhile, my wardrobe is full. And the clothes can still be used, but I am convinced that my appearance needs to keep up. I think it's also a matter of appearances. It also goes back to appearance when I say I'm supposed to attend every function that a church member has. Yes, we've all been invited because the cards are read in church, and they say, SDA Church Magere has been invited to this function, but it's not a must that I must be there. Honestly, the function might be far, and I might need to invest in my look, a new dress, makeup, and new hair, and all those are expenses. Do you know? So I say, if we can control our appearances, or if we can control the amount we put in how we appear, we could live a little bit more comfortably than we are living currently. I'm speaking for myself and maybe a girl like me out there.
Yeah, then again, Edson, speaking about the reality of the costs of living, he made the point of what are the costs of living. You realize that when we speak life, living day unto day, we think about the basic needs: shelter, healthcare, education, social life, Are you looking at that? And all that needs an input. All that needs an input. In a world where the health standards are falling down, you need some money to keep up healthy. Because if you venture into healthy eating, it also has some financial implications. If you venture into going for that course, my brother is re-enrolling for postgraduate. You know it is money at the end of the
Staying
day.
fit.
Staying fit. The gym requests you to subscribe.
Fit.
Communication. This is life. You need to talk to loved ones. There is a lot of money behind every act in life. And yet, the wages don't match up. So you have to show up every day. There is this common phrase that wake up, tuck in, Tambulaku street. That alone has an input required for it. And yet, you will not get returns.
Just show up alone needs an
To
investment.
just show up alone. Of recent, I was sharing with a colleague that it is very hard to be a teacher. And the reason I was saying is, you have to show up to motivate
Yes.
all the time. All the time.
You can't have a bad day.
You can't have a bad day as a teacher.
Of late,
Yeah?
there's something I've noticed. When I get so busy and I have a lot to work on, I get irritable. And my kids have been telling me that I've changed. Teacher, you notice me like this. He says you really get annoyed. You're always in a temper or something like that. And I'm like, they actually notice.
Surely.
They are
Actually
looking up
notice,
to
yes,
us.
they
They
And then
do.
And,
every day you stand before
And
innocent
I
souls.
also think that if they notice my irritability, they also notice when I don't change a shoe.
Oh, they
Exactly.
notice everything.
Exactly.
That is why for me, appearance is very important.
He
I have
didn't
to show
iron
up
today.
to inspire.
Youth leader, how do you show up in the same court every Sabbath at the church?
So the baseline is that you have to spend for the bare minimum. But when we look at how you have the opportunity to bring in, it is really
It's sad
devastating.
because Uganda pays some of the lowest wages, I think, generally on the continent, or maybe in East Africa. Some things are really... in Kenya, for example, an intern doctor earns more than a qualified doctor in Uganda. You know how we've been having this whole debate of scrapping off medical internship pay and that? The little 1 million shillings that medical interns have been getting for the period they're on internship.
Actually,
Now, in Kenya, an intern doctor, I think, gets something like, their net should be something like about 5 million shillings in Ugandan currency.
yes.
An intern. Now, if an intern can get that, just imagine how much a qualified doctor gets. Now, here in Uganda, a medical doctor who is now on government placement, I think their net should be something like 3.2 or 3.5 million shillings.
Yeah.
So an intern doctor is earning more than a qualified. But and those statistics, such discrepancies reflect in most of the sectors.
Yes.
You find a qualified doctor who is not on government is earning below 1 million shillings.
Yes.
A qualified nursing officer earning below 1 million shillings. A qualified accountant earning below that. A qualified teacher, a qualified engineer. It's sad.
It's very sad.
You had something.
Yeah, I had something when you talked about intern payments. It is actually in our society here, especially Uganda, where we expect professionals to offer services freely.
Free of charge.
Freely. You see the problem? They do not put the cost of servicing the act of offering the service. Because you have to wake up every day and move to work and attend to clients. But how do you get there?
You have this young man doing internship with you for something like 3 months.
Now, at least
and
medical interns are paid. What of the rest of the professions? What is happening
the
there?
rest are not.
You get the problem. So it is in Uganda here where even people who have got skills are expected to offer free service.
Pro bono services.
And honestly, since this is our country and we've been blessed to be put in an economy as ours, we are supposed to live up. How do we? I say it is hard, but it is important for us to not live like our bags, to not live like our brokenness. If you feel broke, it is important to still show up every day and think of something you can do, because honestly it's easy to come up with ideas, but it is hard to turn those ideas into things that can bring us money. It might take a while. We can't say people are not trying. They are trying. But while we wait on to the money to start coming in, while we wait on to the opportunities that we are verging for, I say we show up and still look motivating to the young lives out there. Honestly, children look up to us that are working. They really wish. Have you ever been unemployed before? I want to talk about that.
I want to give an example.
Do you know how devastating it is? Do you know how relieving it is for you to wake up and just go? Go, even if it's just for internship. Honestly, I say, even if it's still hard, let's still keep positive and show up in a way that that is fulfilling as we get to where we want to be financially.
Allow me give an example. She brought up she asked a question, have you ever been unemployed? And it did reflect to me a lot. When I left campus the first time, it was towards lockdown. And they closed off. They closed off.
Tough.
That means I had to enter hustle mode. But by God's grace, just after campus, you can't enroll to a school when they've closed schools. So I went into hustle mode. I got a job, some management job, operations manager at a company, 700, sweet money.
Oh, wow, it was
700, like, entering lockdown when you're earning, which there are some black tax. But that prompted me to get a house of 250.
Wow.
250,000. The contract went for 3 years. But it didn't end like at a go. It ended by reducing the salary slowly. I came to realize that I was paying rent more than I was earning at that moment. So they were like, you know what? As the company, let's handle your rent. You'll handle the rest with the salary. Still, it wasn't enough. I found myself quitting a job with a house of 250.
And you still had to pay the rent.
250, and I had to still pay the rent.
And Kampala landlords don't joke.
Leaving that a few years later, getting a job, and after some months realize that you are investing in the job.
That is it now.
Tell me about it.
You're earning, let me give an example, you're earning 200,000, and when you calculate at the end of the month, the transport you put in to and from work, the feeding at work, you are putting in 400,000 on a salary of 200,000. That's enough to quit a job, actually.
And you are not living above your means.
And you're not
just
living.
spending the bare minimum.
What is required?
Yes.
Now, that is low wages.
Definitely.
Because to be honest, you will want to save costs by paying rent of 150, but you stay in a place where they rob you every month and you have to replace things.
Yeah.
You spend 100K in new padlocks.
Yes, you want to save transport costs to work by
Your food.
boarding a taxi.
And you arrive late.
But you arrive late.
All with sweat. You're like, boss, I'm sorry to
I am sorry I might come out emotional on this, but part of the reason why there are low wages in our country and among the youths is because people, especially employees, do not live up to their end of the bargain. They agree upon something else, and then because how is it fair to reduce someone's pay? They're already in work mode. They've set their life around.
You
that.
understand the situation. You understand.
And honestly, it's unlikely that your wage is reduced and then it's risen again. I think that's it. The moment your wage is reduced, there is no turning back. Has it happened where your money is reduced and then they put it up?
They'll even tell you if you can't work.
If you can't work, we have people who can come in your place at that price.
I wanted to mention is also, reducing us to survival mode and making us so desperate at the jobs we are having that they know you're not having anywhere else to go. It's like these guys sit up there and they agree. They know you have nowhere to go.
You get annoyed, you run. There's someone can come in that
There's
place.
someone
At that price, you are
coming at that price.
Yes, Edson, I believe we are already tackling the causes of the low wages. And by the way, there is something very, very factual, especially in our economy. We operate in an open economy where the buyer and seller depend on a win-win situation. There is no regulation and especially on the minimum wage. So how you sit in that after interview room, you negotiate how much you earn. I've been in schools where you teach the same subject with a
And you have
teacher
different pay.
and you have different pay. You get?
I was in a school like that, like my very first school, and it was a big name. If I mention this school, it's a big name school. My
Yes.
first workplace. And so at the end of it, they brought us in the language department, and we were 3, and we agreed on. I think it was something like 600,000, but with rent. They were
Yes.
paying us rent, they were giving us 600,000 a month. Now, when we went on payday, now this place was even funny. They don't give you that decency of getting your money through a bank. They pay you by cash.
Can
You have to line
imagine.
up
And most of them do that.
and we went to get the money. We went to get, and that was 3 years ago. We went to get the money, and we were given this 600K. And for us, we thought, oh, everyone is getting this. And colleagues whom we found there ask us, how much have you? And we say 600 innocently. And like, this lady was complaining. What? She was teaching chemistry and we were teaching
Yes.
language. What? I said, they're giving me 500 and you guys are being given 600. You've just come. And I was like, what? Like, you're sitting in the same staff room doing the same work.
Yes.
But
You earn different
like, it's
amounts.
just someone's bargaining power.
Yes.
And that's bad.
And on top of that, there is no job security. You have no contract.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
You get?
In that regard, I say, even if we are employers, even if we are just searching out for these jobs and we really, really are passionate to work, I say it is important that as you talk to your employees, you request for something formal, a formal document. It might not be a contract, but a formal document
Yes.
protects
We're going for
you.
break, and when we come back, we're going to continue on that note. Keep watching.
Thank you.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is a youth voice show here on Hope Channel Uganda. We are discussing low wages versus the rising cost of living, and we've dissected about a number of things in this conversation, but I want us to look at the aspect of people who are formally qualified but working in the informal sector. So you find maybe an engineer, and they're doing something completely different. They are delivering downtown. They are the ones who are selling stuff online and that, which is not a bad thing. But in most cases, they are doing it because maybe they have failed to find better options in the formal sector, or maybe they just got frustrated and left altogether. Have we seen such realities?
Actually, no, that's me. That is basically me. I said education, I said, but as I said earlier, along the way I had to go into hustle mode. But along the way I decided to earn more skills in marketing. Then recently I did a certificate in virtual management. Right now, however much I'm qualified, but I earn my money aside for virtual management. I manage real estate for someone in Rwanda. His properties are in what? In Uganda. I don't go anywhere. You just sit down and manage online. You earn that. I do marketing and sales with IBS, a telecommunication company in Uganda. And you find that to some extent, unprofessional may end up earning you more than the professional. Why? Professional, you put in time, full time, as a teacher from 8 to what?
To 5.
To 5. You may not get a chance to squeeze in, unlike Masaka is. So, but you find yourself that in the economy of Uganda, it is hard to survive on one salary. Okay? So you find yourself that you are pushed to the wall to go unprofessional, even if you are professional.
I've not tried leaving the profession, but I think it's better to be informal because people are earning, honestly. I've seen a number of friends that are not practicing what they studied. They came out as engineers, they came out as teachers, as nurses, and they're not practicing that, and it's working. Yiriba mode is really, really good because it gives you more time to venture in a number of things, and you. I think it might be the better option in this economy.
Yeah, yes, Edson, this thing is a reality. It is not something I personally cherish. I record it as a failure of our education system. If you have products that don't end where you have prepared them for, that's a total failure of the education system. But still, we don't have to take away the fact that in the 21st century, one has to be so versatile, so flexible. Actually, I talk to many of the young people, and I can be talking to someone out there, that if you are pursuing a professional line, you do not have to have a mind that is fully confined to such.
That.
Because at the end of the day, the ground is not level. On the ground, it is too different. You'll end up in a community where what you studied is not needed. And that is the reality of where we are living today. So you have to adapt to what is required. And this is the mindset we should all have today. That you scan through your community and see what is needed. Where is the problem? And how can I step in to solve this problem? And trust me, you will find that most of the problems need skills to be solved. And that is, at most of the cases, informal. You'll see that people need shoes. You need to sell shoes. But then you say, for me, I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer. But then you cannot have an opportunity to practice. So you should do what is there for you to survive. It is not something I cherish, but for survival issues, one has to be so versatile. So many people are downtown with so many papers, and they are making a living. And when we come out of university, we follow into the same, they give us jobs, and we end up there with them. So as a country, it is something we have to work on and make sure these things are put right. We should not have products that are wasted, but rather also when we come out of school, we should not sit back as we wait for what we think we need to have. Yeah, that is what.
Can we agree that it is important for us to get an education and get a profession, but it is also as important for us to go out and look for something we can earn more from?
Exactly.
So we have the documents and still have the monies.
Exactly.
Actually, I think the Uganda we are in, a degree is, it has lost weight.
Surely.
Whereby, if at all you have a degree, you're, like, for instance, you're in a staff room with a senior 6 vacist. And they're doing a job you're doing that you've studied for what? 3 good years. So I think lately, if it's professional, hit it to at least a master's.
A higher level.
Specializing.
That's why I realized this 1 year that I'm going, but I'm going to go back for 1 year to reacquaint myself with the system of education. Then go for a master's for 2 years. Now there, what you master in, even if you go to a school, you have a master's, let me say, in education administration. They'll be like, this guy has what? Has weight. You're competing with the HM. That means whenever they have to make you a teacher, to put in a system,
The pay will be
like,
a bit raised.
Exactly.
so we put ourselves on that advantage because, truth be told, a degree is no longer,
It's a bare minimum.
it no longer has that weight it used to have in Uganda. So if at all you can do the unprofessional, also ensure that the professional bit of it, you hype it. Yeah.
Then again, something, I like what my brother Edson does. And I will use this to also speak to people there. Some of the times when I'm in my personal meetings with me,
Okay.
I always tell myself that when I practice as a teacher, I should not be at school for more than 4 days a week. I should find time to do other things outside classroom. Maybe start on a company and fix time to lobby for activities for that company. Because now, we are running away from the fact that a monthly income will sustain you. As we said this at the start of the show, it is really true that a monthly income will not have you prosper. Because we have even seen that it cannot provide your basic needs. So how are you going to grow yourself with a monthly income? So it is important that the youth now should venture into identifying problems and solving them. That is self-employment. You create yourself a platform. You brand yourself. You identify a niche to exploit. And at the end of the day, people will think about you and say, hey, if we want someone to do this, let's call him on. And not calling Masereka, but let's call what? The company, the platform Uganda. Are you looking at that? So you will, at the end of the day, have the job becoming the side hustle. And that's how you're going to manage.
Because expenses keep growing.
Yes.
They do.
They keep growing.
And for
you
this,
can't avoid
and for
them.
an entrepreneurial mindset, you don't know when money comes in. And you don't know how much comes in. Money can keep coming in. And before you balance your books at the end of the month, you find you have made the money you are supposed to make in a year, in 1 month. Can you imagine that?
Sometimes I have gone for things, you do something in 1 day and it gives you what you get in a month.
Please share. Please share with us.
And you'll be like, oh, I quit my day job.
And if you can now give more time to such things, you find yourself catching up. With
But
the
they are
standards
not
of
constant. That's the problem.
Yes, they are not
They're mostly
constant.
season. But
Yeah,
why?
but,
What the try?
the goal is, like Edwin is saying, do something that puts you ahead of everyone else.
Yes.
If you are a doctor, what is making you identified?
Exactly.
We all know a Dr. Kasenene somewhere. Why? Because unlike all other doctors, he decided to use his medical knowledge to educate people.
Exactly.
And so even if maybe people want somewhere to come and do medical awareness somewhere, they will think of the Kasenene whom they have seen, than a Dr. so-and-so whom they have never heard of.
Yes.
We all know there is this young man, he's a lawyer. He has been training of late. He does challenges, he does challenges kind of legal related, and and now people know him. What is making you stand out in your career, in your profession?
Sure.
Maybe you are a water engineer, but now how do you use that to help everyday people? That if someone wanted someone to fix a problem for them or something, and in this gig economy, I've realized people think of the one who is available.
Exactly.
Yes, because for you, you're always putting what you do out there. People are going to think about you when there is something. I mean, maybe you are a nurse. If I know an employer who wants a nurse, and maybe I know maybe around 5 other nurses, what is going to make me think about you, and you're the one I'm giving a call first to submit your application? So I think it's beyond having the qualifications, but also branding
Being,
ourselves
and putting yourself out
putting
there,
ourselves
because
out
we've been
there.
taught, we've been taught and told to do the best, and we will be spotted.
Yes.
Oh my dear, it might never come. That time might never come. You need to put it out there so
you know this thing
people
of
get
blow your
aware.
own don't blow your own trumpet. Blow it
This
louder.
economy.
Not
Louder.
anymore.
Because if you don't, 2 days ago I was getting a call from and this is someone I respect so much. He works with a very big organization that I look up to so much, and he gave me a call. He was like, "You're doing amazing work. I wanted you to." They were doing a campus, a school to work transition program for fresh graduates in Lira. And then he called me. He was like, "I forgot to give you a call yesterday. You should have come here. I am already here, but now it's late. You can't make it." It was already Friday morning. He was like, "It's late. You can't make it. But I've been seeing what you're doing, and you're doing amazing work. Thank you. Keep it up."
Sure.
And to me, that meant a lot to me. He didn't give me the opportunity, but somehow he's noticing.
Yes.
But this is from blowing my own trumpet. I mean, if you keep silent with your skills and what you
Wait
have learned,
for my turn.
no one sees. Yeah. It really takes a lot for people to begin talking about what you do.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yes.
You have to first put it out there in them.
Then maybe another thing, Edson, I think as we juggle the trade-off of high costs of living versus low wages, we should now stop this fantasy of professional relevance. You know, I be there with students and they say, what do you want to become in future? I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a pilot. And their whole life they are looking up to that, only to get disappointed after becoming what they wanted to become. So what should we venture in? Skills that are relevant today. Why should you be at your second floor and you are not a technocrat? You are not inclined to technology. Of recent, I've been thinking about learning coding. And it is something I want to achieve. Why? Because this is what is on the floor today. Yes? Look at what is needed today. Plumbing. People want plumbers. But you go to institutions, they don't even have a course like that. Are you saying that? So we should look at developing skills that are necessary for today. When so many doctors are on the market and they are not blessed, and then we are having ourselves develop more doctors.
Yes. And then you're having a doctor, for example, who can do web designing and maybe graphics, something like that. And then he gets employed at this place, but he has an advantage of running their website for the hospital, maybe. And it's double. Instead of getting maybe a journalist to come and run the communication of this hospital, you have someone who understands the profession and they're the one who are going to be doing it. He has a better.
You remind me of Dr. Solo.
So somehow you are in the hospital, not because you can do surgery and clinical analysis, but because you are a communicator.
Yes.
And the hospital needs that.
It needs that to put out their brand.
They don't need your skills as a doctor because they have many of them, but they need your skills as a communicator.
Your company should not hire an MC for that end of year party or something. You can be like the one who is taking such gigs within your company.
It's a win-win.
Yes.
For
When
you
they are
get
thinking of
and they also
when they are thinking of maybe gifts for that end of year dinner or something like that for your company, you're the guy who is running downtown to NASA to go and see how things are printed. You know how to work on such things. But you are an engineer.
Exactly.
But you're the one who can do some of these things, and they don't have to hire someone else to
when
do
the
them.
school wants books for their class, for the children, you should be the supplier.
Yes.
You have authored. You have a printer, you have printed. And at the end of the day, you'll make money.
I want to take you, gentlemen, astray, if you will allow me.
Please do.
Honestly, as we get to that point, we mostly say people live beyond their means, but there are people that are living within their means and they're doing only what is necessary. We're talking about the transition as we learn the skill, as we think of venturing into something that is beyond our books, beyond our professions. Yes. How about we learn to say no? Do you know the value of the word no? Sometimes, honestly, there are things that do not serve us and things that we cannot afford at the moment, and we still go ahead to strain and strive to be a part of those activities, to be a part of those things. Meanwhile, we could have said, no, I am unable to. No, I can't afford that at the moment. Do you know that is something else that strains us amidst this financial struggle?
Regulating our expenses that actually hype our cost of living.
Yes to everything, yes.
Relationship. You are my brother.
Yes, sir.
You can be there with 5 girlfriends on an income of 400,000. What are you doing?
But even if you're having one, you're spending on her like you're spending on your wife.
Like siblings coming every time, and you're like, auntie, you are the good big brother, right? I'll find a way myself. By
the way, what she's saying is very, very important. There are so many good things that are not good for us, depending on the context and situation.
Right is not always
when we
good.
are talking about spending, cost of life, now you are having a smartphone and you are on all the social media platforms. You scroll TikTok, you close TikTok, you go to WhatsApp, you close WhatsApp, you go to Insta, you go to... At the end of the day, a bundle of 1 GB, that is 2K, is done in 15 minutes. But you literally do not need all these platforms.
You
Are you looking at that?
But things are simple as that. Let's a person who uses an average of 3K in airtime every single day. I mean, data bundles and call bundles and that, because you're the one who makes 2-hour calls with your woman, and that's a bundle of 2K on MTN. But by the end of the day, if you multiply 3K times 7 days a week, aren't you in 21,000?
Yeah, you're in 21.
In a week?
Yes.
That's money.
It's
Serious.
Compounding that over time. Now let's look at all the little things you keep spending on. I mean, maybe where you should have used a taxi, and you deliberately wake up late, and so you have to use a judge to get there early.
Cost of living is not, it's based on behavior at times.
Oh, really?
It's a behavior. Our behavior has cost us a lot at the end of the day. For instance, that. My behavior is that I have to spend on my woman. That's an extra expense. My behavior is that when I'm every Sabbath I have to change a suit. That means I have to buy a suit every month.
By the way, I heard of people who hire clothes for Sabbath. And
Tell me
cars.
God
about
is
it.
not happy.
They even exchange shoes.
God is not happy with us.
I've heard of that.
God is not happy with us. We need to learn to, be at your best, but still
best,
within
yes.
your means. I personally think that other things are going to come with. For now, I may not afford an expensive watch that I need
Yes.
to. But with time, I'll be able to do that.
True.
What matters is I show up, I am neat, I'm clean, I'm decent, I'm responsible, I'm presentable.
Yeah.
You don't have to be very expensive for you to be presentable.
Right.
People will know you're faking it sometimes even. People know us. People know us. They will think you're there betting and gambling.
Stinginess is not a bad thing at times. By the way.
Really?
It's not like
I think it's. I
in
think
this
we should be- we
economy,
should
you
be
have to be
frugal, right?
sometimes.
Be frugal. We don't. Yeah, be frugal. Know where to spend and where not to spend. Know when to ask her out and take her to a good hotel.
Yeah.
And know where to ask her out and just go and do ice cream and just talk and the evening is done.
And
Yes.
maybe something else, Edson. Speaking about high cost of living, as a biologist, I'm a biology teacher, there is something I can't live without speaking. We need to invest in our own good health.
Yes.
You don't know how much our health costs us. Of recent I saw someone write on the status and said, one hospital bill can drain your savings for 5 years. You have been saving for 5 years, but one hospital bill drains them all.
And because of a reckless lifestyle.
I think you understand that. So we should be able to invest in our own good health. When you see the appetite pulling you toward having that, which you already know, your conscience is even telling you that it's not good for your health, and you venture into it, at the end of the day, you are really going to have an effect, even on your pocket. If you can stay scrolling even up to past 1, 2, then you sleep for 2 hours. It will
and you have to
compound
be at work
into
at
bad
8 in the
health.
morning. Yes.
You're not eating well, you're not resting, you are not exercising,
You're not drinking
you're
enough.
not drinking enough water. So
You
as a
drink-
young person,
you're on these soft drinks every now
You
and
know,
then.
right?
Ati, I can't take water. I can't stand the taste of water.
water is bitter.
so it is also very important that we invest in our own good health if we are to save ourselves from the high costs of health.
And it's okay to start with not as much. You don't have to start with a 400K place to rent. When you're just at startup level, at entry level,
You
an
barely-
entry level
you're even
job.
barely at your house.
Yes, I mean, you're even single. Like I look at myself, for example. I am a visitor at home. I mean, I spend most of my time.
At work.
And then, what's the essence of having 2 rooms, two big rooms all to myself? By the way, I will say this, but I'm just saying it for the young man out there. I got into this very big place, like 2 rooms. It's having a washroom, it's having a storeroom and a kitchen space. And the
family
place was
house.
really big. And I was on pressure to fill it up first of all, because like the space was too big, you can even hear an echo. So I wanted to kind of fill up with stuff. Now I was on pressure to fill stuff in that place, vis-a-vis the little money I get. But also secondly, the space was really too big. And there was a colleague who expressed interest in staying with me, and we share the rent into half. And I did that, and it helped.
Wow.
And we
Kudos to
agreed.
you.
He's only going to. We are only going to separate when one of us is about to marry.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, it has saved a lot. Firstly, he helped me with the space because he brought in stuff.
Yes.
So the echo was reduced. And, but also, secondly, I no longer have such a big blank space staring at me.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, sometimes I leave home at 5 a.m. and I won't come back until 10 p.m. when I'm coming to rest. What's the essence of having all this big space which I can't use? But I'm paying for it, you know? What's the essence of maybe having all this water running? Yes, I won't even, you know?
Use it.
Yes, so it's okay to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And maybe somewhere you can always, you know, stabilize. If you can find a way of cost sharing some things, for example,
Yes.
do that.
I think, Edson, on that note, I share a story with you. Yeah. The same story with you. And there is beauty in simplicity. When you decide to calm down and accept, you find yourself flourishing. Where you are spending 200,000 for rent, now giving 100,000, and the 100,000 is put onto something else. So we need to live simple lives.
And even when the
Simple
money
life.
comes in, you can still
divert
stay
into
at
something
that
else.
same,
Yes, stay there.
at that same level.
Stay
Because
there.
we have a tendency of thinking, I've suffered enough, this is it, I can't have it anymore. So when you get another income, when the money increases to a level, you have to change, and you're like, there will be signs, and then you start
it's okay
showing
to start
the
with that
signs.
it is, even when it is washed in a sink. It's okay to start with that, as you know. I think our time is up, and it's been a very fruitful conversation, and I believe that our friends out there have learned something. Most importantly, live within your means, keep showing up, be smart, be decent, be neat, live within your means, find a skill, something you can work on, something you can, a niche of sorts, something that will help you earn more. But the precious time you spend scrolling on social media and doing all these different things, use that time to learn something. We are wasting so much time. The thing is not even work, the time we spend at work, but off work, what are we doing? You know, yes, you're working 8 to 5 in the evening, but what do you do with the rest of the evening? You know, you can't be sleeping for 10 hours. You're a young man. You can't be, you know, spending an average of 4 hours in a day on social media. What are you even learning? Are we investing in continuous learning and improvement? Are we becoming better people? Are you mastering your craft? We can't dominate, we can't grow if we still have the same skills we graduated with 5 years ago, 3 years ago. You still have entry level skills and you want a promotion?
No, not really.
It won't happen that way. Let's invest in learning and becoming the better versions of ourselves, and most importantly, living above our means. It's been a pleasure having you on this conversation. Tell us what you think. What is the reality there on your end? You can comment on our YouTube channel, Hope Channel Uganda, and let's keep this conversation going. For myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, see you next time. Bye-bye.